External data, it could be a workbook, a database, something else. So what we're going to do is we're going to link this to another workbook that I have saved. So we're going to click on Data, Get Data from a File, and we're going to choose an Excel workbook. So over here I've got a workbook called External Data. We're going to import that. It's going to give us the navigator so we can look at this, and you can choose whichever sheet you would like, and we're going to import this data. So it gives us a little preview of that data, and we're going to just load it up. All right, so here's our data, and that's great. You can filter it, you can manipulate it however you would like to do, whatever you want to do with it at this point. Now, what if I update the original Excel external data file and I add some additional names to it? Let's give that a try. So let's open it up. All right, here it is. But you can tell here at the top, oops, that it's only read-only. So while I have the master open here, the linked data is not, I can't edit it. So let's go ahead and close that one. We're still read-only, so let's close this also, and then we'll reopen it. So we're going to add mini mouse. And we're going to go ahead and close that, save it. We're going to wait for it to sync up. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and edit the Excel intermediate. And notice that Minnie Mouse isn't showing up on this list. All right, so a couple of options we can do here. So first, we're going to click over here on Data, and we can refresh it. If we hit refresh, it'll populate that. But I'd rather do it automatically for me. So now what I want to do is, after I've refreshed all, I want to go to Connection Properties. And I've got some refresh options here. So I can refresh every 60 minutes, but because, as you saw previously, the previous workbook was read-only, so I can't edit it anyways, so there's no real sense in checking that. But I can refresh whenever this workbook is reopened. So every time I open it, we're going to refresh it. So let's test that out. We're going to click OK. We're going to close this. We're going to open up our previous workbook. We're going to add Donald Duck. Oops. Duck. He's an 11. We're going to go ahead and save that. Close it. And now when we open up Intermediate, and then he shows up. It's a little slow, but it came right in there for us. So that's linking with external data from Excel. What about something like SQL? So SQL, if you don't know, is a database. It's a collection. It's very similar to Excel. It's a collection of worksheets or tab data, kind of like this. So let's open up SQL here. So I've got SQL Database Studio Manager here. Now, this is a database that's on my computer here. So this is the full server name. This represents the computer name that it's on, and this represents the SQL instance. You'll have to get this from whomever set up the database. It could be on a server somewhere else, hosted at Azure, hosted on your local server at your data on your local server at your office. You will need to have permissions to it, so you'll need to get that information if you did not set this up. Go ahead and we're going to connect to it, and then you can kind of see it. So if we expand out our databases, we can have multiple, and we have one database here called External Data, and within that, I've got one table called Names. So over here, we're going to go to Data, Get Data from Database, SQL Server. You can see there's a whole bunch of different ones, but we're going to start with this one. And you will need to know that server address. So that's the computer name / instance. The database name is optional, but we know that. So we're going to type in here External Data, and we're going to click OK. Gives us the navigator, so we can choose the table we want to import. and here's a list of names that we want to load up. So it looks exactly like the other one that we brought in from the Excel workbook, but this is slightly different. So you can see here we've got Mickey Mouse and whatnot. So the same problem exists if we come over here to data, and if this is updated, it will not add. So let's go ahead and add Minnie Mouse to this one. Insert two names, first, last, and number. Values. Minnie Mouse, and she's a 112. All right, we're going to insert that, and we'll give it a moment, and it will not automatically refresh because we do not have that option turned on. So if we click over here to the connection properties, we can now choose this option to refresh every 60 seconds or 60 minutes, I mean. So we're going to change that down to 1 minute, and we're going to also refresh on open. And we're going to click OK, and let's see if it updates for us. While we're waiting, we're going to go ahead and add another name. And there they showed right up. And so the difference between saving in SQL versus Excel is the Excel, the other sheet is going to be read-only, where the database is not and can be updated live by multiple people at multiple times. And so linking to the database is a better option in this particular case. Now, kind of one of the gotchas, if you click over here and go to refresh, you'll see that connection properties is not there. You need to make sure that you're clicking within your linked data set, and then you can click on connection properties here.